David, and I'm going to teach him flute.
All right, David, what's your major?
Philosophy and communications.
Okay, cool.
If you want to set that down, pick up the case. We're going to show you how to open the case first. Right? All right, so this case, mine doesn't do it, so I'll just show you on these Yamaha cases. All you got to do is press them out at the same time and lift up. All right. So once we have the case open, it's important to know the parts of the flute. This is the head joint, the body joint, foot joint, and this is the swab after we're done playing. It's always good to swab out the instrument because otherwise the moisture will build up and some grossness will start to grow inside. So now that we have this open, I'm going to show you how to do the armature and the kind of air strings that you want. So if you can just set that on the floor and pick up this right here. So this is the Numipro, and I think the best way to go about it is place it up like you were going to hold a flute, you know? So kind of like this, and imagine a penny right here, so it's all straight, and don't let that penny fall off. So whenever you're going to form the armature, you want a little teardrop, right? Like a little teardrop area, so you have a nice focused stream of air going. And we'll start off by trying to make one of these move. If more than one of them move, that's fine, but this is just to demonstrate like a precise airstream. So we're just gonna breathe in, and I like to breathe in and make sure you're sitting up straight while we're doing this too. I like to breathe in going with a, because then like it goes from the bottom up. You get the most full effect, so like a good and stuff like that. And then we just bring it up. And it's always good to try to play with the airstream. So, you know, like just trying to go at different angles, trying to hit each one of these different propellers there. Yeah. Yeah, just like that. There you go.
Okay, observe your students. Observe your students. How is he on the lip plate?
Okay, so we want the edge of this right here to be on the edge of the pink, right? There you go. Yeah. It's kind of like you played saxophone, right? A little bit like saxophone, I'm sure, not too much like it, smaller opening, but kind of the same principle with how you want to do it. Just make sure the bottom lip is also not drawn in, you know? Just make sure the corners are. Very good. Try to get that top one there. There we go. And then go for this bottom one right there. Perfect. I think we're good to start moving on to the actual flute now. So set that down. We'll pick up the head drum. Same principle as we just did on the Numipro, right? So we want to pick it up. The edge goes right here on the pink. We'll cover that. And we want to this is also another great thing. You see that condensation that you're building up right there? Make sure it's a little line condensation instead of all over the place. So you really want to focus.
Smaller stream of air?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So look at my lips here. Bring it down a little bit more. We want it to rest in between this groove right here. You see? See how there's a groove between the chin and lip? We want the head joint to rest right here. Good. Though I'm still looking, it seems like you've got air blowing out the sides here more than you do coming out straight, you know? So
Does he have a fleshy tab? Does he have a little pointed top lip? Does he have a little pointed top lip?
a little pointed, not too bad though. Let me see. That's a lot better than the last one. Yeah. So before we continue this, we're just going to make sure that you can. Corners are a little drawn there, right? We want the bottom lip to be relaxed. So fat bottom lip, right? this wants to be relaxed here, but you want to make sure that you're getting this teardrop kind of armature, so like a teardrop bowl. And then whenever you do that, you want to make sure it's a beam of air coming out, a nice controlled beam of air coming out straight, kind of like coming down at the fluid at an angle that kind of goes in, but it also glides across.
What could we do to advance the bottom lip a little bit? Let's first work with the bottom lip. Exactly. You just slightly chin things forward. You could say more pure. You could talk about working more from the inner or the wet part of the lip and
right.
bringing the corners forward.
Right.
And we're also trying to get rid of that teardrop. Let's make sure that we're not focusing it more. We're trying to actually get it a little bit smoothed out or a little bit out of the way. So by puckering a little bit more, working from the inner or the wet part of the lip will help kind of move that up and out of the way.
Okay.
Okay, let's try that.
All right, so think about the inner part of the lip, right? You have a little bit of a teardrop, a little bit of a tip going in when you're making your armature, so. Embouchure, sorry. So, whenever you want to go make your embouchure, you put it up here. And instead of what we were doing before, think of the inner, right? Think of this card right here. We kind of want to flatten that out. We don't want to bring it up and over, you know? But we want to make it to the point where just try doing this a little bit. In. And then bring it up. Make sure your bottom lip's still out a little bit. You want to make sure that the inner part right here is also, there we go, right there. And then you want to be blowing from the wet part instead of
From the wet part?
from the wet part, not blowing out through this dry part right here, you know, like you don't want to be going,
Okay, yeah.
you want to be going. So you can imagine. So let's roll that a little bit, put it right there.
Good.
And then
Okay, so what do we have going on? We see a lot of top lip still, right?
yeah,
Very little bottom lip. It's like he's eating the lip plate with his top lip. So what can we do to bring this a little bit lower on the chin?
okay.
Okay.
So-
This out. And you don't need to talk about it. Just have him keep playing.
Yeah.
You're talking a lot, and he's falling asleep and really wants to play the flute, right? So keep talking to him as you're.
Keep going here. Bring the bottom lip back out some more. Keep playing. Yeah, there we go. That's better. Perfect. And now let's uncover that, and we'll just try to actually make it sound out of it. Center it a little bit more there.
Maybe have him turn to face you. He's kind of twisted, so our breathing is not good
There
there.
we go. All right. Bring bottom lip out a little bit more. Oh, it wants to squeak out. Move it over a little bit. The flute joint this way a little bit. There we go. Head joint. And try to, with the new pro.
Yeah.
You remember how we were blowing? You want to be able to blow at it at this one.
Okay.
So try doing that.
Okay.
Try to imagine that there's these propellers right there, you
Yeah.
know, and you're trying to hit one of those propellers. All right.
Okay, so
Bring the
let's.
bottom lip out again.
Okay, so let's have him work on maybe just without the head joint for a second, a
Yeah.
little bit of just chinning back and forth. So we want to get him kind of comfortable with. sort of changing that angle of the airstream. So top and bottom lip,
Try not to flatten that.
Button.
Flatten your chin. Whenever you're going into your
Yeah,
making your
yeah,
chin
yeah.
on flat.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
And that can hinder it a little bit, right?
Okay.
we'll just
So
go
you
back
wanna-
on the Numo Pro one more time.
Let's pick up the middle. And then, so chinning, we're just gonna try to move the lip. Not drastically, but like, we got the embouchure here. And you just wanna try moving it with the bottom lip more than anything,
Okay.
you know? There we go.
Good. Still trying to bring the bottom lip to meet the top lip a little bit more. So chin forward just a little bit.
Chin forward.
So you're exposing a little, and this is good mirror work. You know, a mirror is important. You probably can't see the fans all that well unless you really look down, and,
Yeah.
and so you're getting all of this feedback from your teacher. But to stare in the mirror as a teaching device is good. But that, okay, so actually, as you just rested and listened to me, your bottom lip was beautifully seated on that lip plate.
Okay.
So, yeah, so that would be something to kind of work with our students on, is that just even as I'm looking at all your bottom lips, as they're rested and closed, that's how we want to bring them up. And it just kind of wants to go back and in a little bit. So that would be, you know, a next lesson, but he's getting some of this direction to go, so. Good, okay. Glad that you spent some good time with the embouchure, right? That's a lot, so it's okay to really focus in on it, but thank you very much. That's
Okay.
where we will end it.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, feedback for Andrew, as Mark and his guest comes up.
There's a couple times where you're making a pretty good point, and then you would conclude that point with, and stuff like that, or you
I
gotta,
have a bad habit
yeah,
of saying that
you have to
at the end of my
avoid just,
sentences.
that's just hangover, you're losing
Mhm.
focus right there. Just conclude your point where your point concludes.
Right.
How's his voice in general?
Great. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, thank you.